We good, people? We good? We're never good. That's our shtick.
Yeah.
This is the Bestdamntech show, period.
Woo!
It's October sometime, probably like 20th maybe, somewhere around that sort of way. We don't keep track of this shit.
Really?
No. 'Cause
October 20th?
Yeah, people are like, well, giving you plenty of time to edit the show because I know you need it because it's so hard to pry you away from Halo 3 these days that we like to give you plenty of time. Anyway.
I barely play the game.
Oh, right.
I don't even know the difference between the Covenant or the Flood or the Brutes or the Elites.
Right, watch the last episode and you'll see he has the story behind them all. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Prying you away from Halo 3 is always a challenge.
Right.
Thank you as well. No, not you. You. For coming along as well. We've got Rand McNally, the Randy. Rand McNally to my right, to my left, the very Reverend Sir Duchess Adam Plant.
That's his full name.
That's not my full name.
Is here to participate.
Intrigue. Titillate.
Add his comments. We've got a lot of show. We've
Stupefy.
got a lot of show to get through. We've got special guests on this show, by the way.
This is Paul, Flemmo.org, our Australian host, to interrupt rudely.
I'm not the special guest. We
No.
do have special guests. The Alive from Philadelphia people are right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You heard that show?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very popular around the traps.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
Okay, Alive from Baghdad.
Oh.
Yeah.
And live from
That's
Mexico.
the right show.
Alive in Philadelphia is actually being talked about. We're
Yeah.
trying to, if there's any Philly filmmakers out there who are interested in trying to start basically it as more of a collective as opposed to people doing it full time. It would be more of a project where people would just kind of submit their own stuff to the site that would basically follow the Alive In model.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah. By the way, my name's Steve Schwanek.
Steve!
I edit Alive in Baghdad, and I also do a whole bunch of other random things for Small World News with Alive in Mexico, and just generally keeping the boat afloat.
The boat afloat. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to be
Thank
tapping
you.
into your vast amount of knowledge as we go through.
No, I do spend a lot of time editing footage from Baghdad, but I'm also, and for the bulk of my life, have been a giant nerd.
Oh, very
Nice.
This show is not exactly foreign knowledge to me.
Excellent.
We like nerds, we like geeks.
The giant or the better.
The giant or the best. Exactly. We've got a lot to get through. Best damn news.
Yes. I love the news part.
Do you really?
The animation, and then we come back.
Listen, one of our biggest stories over the past couple of weeks has been Jamie Thomas. She was found guilty.
Jamie? Is that really her name?
Jamie.
Or Jamie?
Jamie. Jamie? Jamie?
Jamie.
I don't know.
Let's go with Jamie.
I think
Two
it's double
M's.
M. I really do. She's been ordered to pay the recording industry, RIAA.
Really idiotic, assholey assholes.
Right, $220,000 for sharing her, was it 24 songs? I
That's
believe,
fucking bullshit.
On Kazaa.
Why? Why is it that much money? Shouldn't she just pay the cost of those 24 albums at, what, $18 per album?
Well, calculate the number of people that actually downloaded it, and
How
you
can
know,
do they have those numbers?
I'm pretty sure they have those numbers.
Damn it!
Say maybe 9 people got it from her. Maybe 9.
Maybe?
Charge her for that.
I don't know. I think they had the specific numbers there, which is why they came up with that amount. Anyway, the stories from the jury are now coming out.
Yeah?
It took them 5 minutes to come up with a decision. Most of them, admittedly, not very tech savvy, so they don't really understand the whole ins and outs of it.
Obviously, if it took them 5 minutes, they're like, you get this? No. You get this? Guilty.
She claimed that it was IP spoofing.
Okay.
And they said, come up with some sort of a tech professional to explain what that meant. She couldn't afford that.
Oh, nobody stood up to help?
No, it doesn't seem as though they did. They thought it was just going to be one of those ones that was going to be swept under the carpet like many of the others.
Right.
So one of the jurors said that they wanted to send a message that you don't do this and that you have been warned.
Wait, is it the juror's job to send a message?
No.
No. No,
No, it's
particularly
kinda reaching,
ones
isn't
that
it?
aren't necessarily tech savvy either.
Yeah.
Fucking non-tech savvy people are always in the news commenting on tech industry shit.
Talking about the tubes.
She's
Yes.
appealing. She is
She's hot?
not necessarily that kind of appealing, but she's appealing in the courts of law.
Oh.
And
So only in like a 3-piece suit she's hot. Right?
with a
shoulder pads?
wig,
Yeah.
with a grey wig or something like that. But there has been a website set up called Free Jammy, which is. Or Jamie, Free Jamie, I guess.
Whichever.
Whatever.
Whatever. They are taking donations, of course. They've raised actually about $9,000 for the appeal.
That ain't nothing to sneeze at, Paul.
It's nothing to sneeze at. That's about 9 hours of lawyer time.
Yeah. So they can pretty much agree that, they'll look into some documents or something. What can they do? What did lawyers do in 9 hours?
Shuffle papers.
Phone calls.
I'll shuffle
Yeah.
papers. Maybe they'll get a tech expert on, and maybe we'll donate.
Well, that's the
donate
other
some of
thing.
Plant's time.
Yeah, you're probably going to see some technical people show up and donate, if they're in the area,
Yeah.
to talk about IP spoofing and kind of turn around how really those numbers are immeasurable and how do you really think that, can you count it as a song? I mean, she was sharing, and because I'll let you share multiple, you could download the same file from multiple people if it was the same file.
Right.
So if she only shared maybe a quarter of the song, they have to take that into account, don't they? I mean,
Sure.
but how do they know that? You know what I mean? No, they do. They do. Because, if you can't claim damages, you got to know what you're claiming, Sharing a quarter of a song is completely different than sharing a whole song.
Absolutely.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It definitely is different.
All right, we're spending far too much time on this.
Anyway, we're not happy about it. It's bloody ridiculous. Go to Free Jammy or Free Jamie with the double M. .com if you want to offer some assistance in that area.
Financial.
iPhone, speaking of people who don't necessarily need a lot of assistance, Apple iPhone Touch.
iPod Touch.
Sorry, iPod Touch. Well, thank you for correcting me. The iPod Touch is very exciting. A lot of people are actually adding some apps to it. Unfortunately, the last upgrade wiped a lot of those apps out. But those fabulous hackers that we love so much have come up with workarounds again.
Nice.
And you're adding a lot more capabilities via Wi-Fi.
Nice.
So adding mail, right?
Ah.
You're adding certainly web browsing as an experience all through Wi-Fi.
Awesome.
Very, very exciting.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound great.
That's turning into the real device to buy. I mean, maybe the next generation of that will be the coolest thing around.
Right, potentially. I'm surprised that Apple themselves didn't come up with these sort of opportunities, but maybe there's some licensing.
Maybe they
restrictions
do,
there.
and they're releasing them later.
Yeah, they probably maybe had to turn it off
Yeah.
because their legal didn't get
Right.
something sorted.
Yeah, in enough time or short enough time.
That is true. Speaking of legal, we're keeping our
Iris
irises on
on
the
the
virus. And
virus.
Plant, of course, is always on the pulse. Now, what do you got for us this week?
This is a little tiny win for the forces of good.
Ooh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Crudware. You know that it's not necessarily bad for your computer, but it doesn't do anything either. You see a lot of that with registry cleaners and things like that.
Right.
A crudware pusher has to pay a settlement of $25,000.
Okay, so
Wow.
so essentially someone downloaded some software and thought it was good, and there's a couple of additional little things on there. Is that the whole...
A little more dubious than that.
More dubious than that?
More dubious, yeah. And basically, he was using a Windows feature known as NetSend, and he was just kind of hitting IP addresses, and then would put up a message saying that you've got some severe registry issues, and this free software will fix it. So then when you go and get it, it finds all the stuff, but it says, oh well, if you want us to actually fix it, it costs you $30. But these weren't, it implied that you had to do it. Mission critical stuff is going to be lost. Everything's going to die if you don't do it. So
Fuck.
people would do it. They paid $30. In the end of the day, it might have fixed the registry, probably caused more problems than it fixed.
Right.
And just, it was... That's why they call it crudware.
Crud.
It doesn't do a thing of good for anybody. The gentleman responsible is, and this is a hard name to pronounce, Hoan Vin V annoying fuck, basically.
Oh.
1v. Oh, 1v. Right.
Yeah, on Vin V, whatever.
Notorious he is.
Yeah, I mean, the settlement basically made him have to pay out $25,000, which, when you think about it, this sort of thing, that's a slap on the wrist. I mean, he probably made more money than that after defending himself and everything. You know, he really should have gotten hit harder than that. $2,000 per
24
violation.
songs.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, this dude's ripping people off. He gets $25,000 fine. This girl trades music, one of thousands and thousands who
Promoting
do.
the band that she was listening to.
Yeah, basically. You know, the big thing, the win that comes out of this is that the judgment permanently barred using NetSend in any advertisement or any form of ad that simulates a security message or misrepresent risks that any product or service is designed to fix.
Right.
So basically, this technique of selling crap won't be able to be used again.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one.
Nice.
What else you got for us, mate?
That's it.
That's it for the Iris and the Virus news. Fabulous. We promised that we would get to the Alive in Baghdad guys, and we will. Right now, Steve, we're putting you under the microscope, mate.
Oh my.
So aliveinbaghdad.org is well, it's a big site. A lot of people go there. Essentially, you're telling the story from the perspective of the Iraqis.
That is correct.
How long ago did you start, mate?
The project started actually 2 years ago this
Wow.
month.
Wow.
Brian went to Baghdad at the end of October. It was, I think, October 25th or so.
Why?
And, why?
Yeah, with this thing in mind.
No, it's a funny story. Basically, when the project got started, I came on like 3 or 4 months after the project was started. And Brian originally went and told he was fed up with basically documentary filmmakers who were taking way too long to basically release their movies and things like that. So originally they hooked up with some indie media kids, and he said that they were going to give them all this server space and they were going to post video from Baghdad. Indie media kind of true to indie media fashion didn't totally come through.
Alright.
So Google Video is what they started using right away, and but then we found out about Blip TV. And we started using Blip. But originally the project was just to go to Iraq, film interviews with people from Iraq, and take those and show them around the country and around the world.
Right, and the premise here is the real story.
Exactly, like real
Right.
stories, and Brian couldn't afford to like take 15 Iraqis and take them on a world tour.
Right.
But he could afford to go over there, and be crazy, and everyone was like, "You're insane! You're going to Baghdad."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
And Brian has a very Italian look, and he has dark hair, and he can definitely pass as Arab. So there's actually a great story when him and our bureau coordinator are interviewing Adnan Delaney. Basically, he knew that one of the people was an American, but he thought Omar, who was Palestinian, was the American, and that Brian was the Iraqi.
Wow. That's
And-
hilarious.
But anyway, when Brian came back and he had all this footage, he was still posting it. He hooked up with a couple video bloggers who saw that he was posting stuff on Blip,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What the hell's a video blog?"
Uh-huh.
He's like, "I've been posting video on the internet since like 1998. I'm indie media," and they're like, "No, you need to get RSS feeds and blah 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 whatever."
Yeah.
And that's about the time when I came on board. I met him at a conference, and basically he was just showing some of the material he had, and I was like, "Wow, this is a huge project," and he was like, "Yeah, it's just me." So I was like, and I was still in college at the time. I went to Temple here in Philadelphia, but he clearly needed a lot of help. So I basically was like, "Yeah, what the hell? Let's do this."
Yeah.
And so I've been on board since like January 2006. Which
Wow.
is weird because that's also coming up on 2 years. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I feel like I just started this project, but
Yeah, no, it's a fabulous project. Tell us a little bit about the process. I mean, you get video footage from
yeah.
Iraq.
The process is basically we have guys in Iraq who shoot. We have 3 correspondents active right now, and they send us tapes via DHL, and it's DHL. That's it. We don't do any web transfers or anything, just because electricity is so bad there right now.
I bet.
They get maybe 1 hour of electricity a day, and
Wow.
the only place you can really get nice internet connections are at the hotels where the CNN, BBC,
Journalists. Yeah.
and so it's really difficult to kind of get in there and stuff, and it's expensive. And
Oh, I bet.
Sure.
So we just shipped the tapes with DHL. They're fast as hell. We love DHL. We got a shipment today. It was shipped out, I think, last Friday or last Thursday.
Nice.
That's impressive.
And it's fantastic. So I actually just digitized about 3 hours of footage this afternoon.
Wow.
We're going to get it all translated. The funny thing is once it's all digitized, it actually goes back to the Middle East.
Oh.
We have a translator in Syria.
Of course.
And we send her the material. She downloads MOV files, small little compressed 320 by 240 QuickTime files.
Yeah.
Writes up a translation document in Microsoft Word.
Mm-hmm.
Emails that back to us, and then what we do is we create edits from the paper. Excuse me. We create paper edits from the translation documents.
Right.
So they all, we basically usually cut it down to like 2 or 3 pages of material. Then we go through and we subtitle it all. And that's the most painstaking process.
Oh, yeah,
that's
sure.
just that's like a whole day. You're just
Yeah.
like, well, got to get this done today, and that's
Yeah.
what I need to focus on. And then once that's all done, we always subtitle more footage than we think we're going to use, because
course.
sometimes you're like, this is great, this line here is amazing.
Yeah.
Then when you actually see the footage, you're like, oh, he's looking at the ground, or the
Right.
camera's totally screwed up, or
Right,
whatever, and you're just like, God damn it.
Do you
But-
try to keep it to a certain time frame?
Yeah, we generally aim between 4 to 7 minutes.
Right.
And that's just
Wow.
what we feel is kind of ideal for the web, as far as people
Sure.
who are watching news on the internet.
Yeah.
And so once the episode is done and edited, we kind of pass it around between a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And we kind of all talk about this should get dropped. What about this? What kind of blog do we want to write? How do we want to really what kind of perspective do we want to put on this episode?
Yeah.
And then once it's done, we just compress it like anyone else compresses video for the web. Post it to Blip and make it available in a bunch of different formats, RSS feeds, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And
So they can go to aliveinbaghdad.org is the main site, but of course
Yeah.
iTunes.
Yeah, we're on iTunes. If you want to get it on your iPod, you can get it there. If you want to get it, Windows Media, Flash, QuickTime, all those files. And
What are you, once a month, once a week, once a month?
once a week.
Once a week.
We've been once a
Wow.
week for at least a year now. And we also have a sister project called Alive in Mexico, which is doing the same thing we've been posting regularly on Mexico for about 4 months now.
Okay, so Baghdad was first. Mexico is the most recent one.
Yep, and we're applying to the Night News Challenge, and we'll find out in the spring whether or not we're going to get the funding. But we want to try to start 5 new bureaus.
Right.
And we're kind of toying around right now. We have a couple different connections. We have some good connections in Zimbabwe, in the occupied territories of Palestine,
Yeah.
in the Democratic Republic of Congo,
Wow.
Sudan, and we also have a good contact in Niger.
Any plans to do a bureau in a rich kind of town? Something
Get a contrast.
live in Bel Air or something.
Alive in Bel Air.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that would be too interesting.
It's like something again, whoever wants to start, if you want to fund these projects, by all means get in touch with us, Steve at smallworldnews.tv. But something like that, we're interested to see what will happen if we can get this Alive in Philadelphia collective going, is basically the way we're really referring to it. The projects are run in a collective model as far as the way stories are chosen for the Baghdad Bureau.
Right.
It's kind of like Brian does all the coordinating with the coordinator.
Yeah.
I know that's a very confusing statement. But basically Brian's in charge of managing all of the different bureaus we have. Right now it's only 2, but he works with our coordinator Omar, and they basically discuss stories, and then they also discuss them with the guys who are actually going to shoot them. And sometimes we have ideas for stories, and they're like, "No, I can't do that." It's
Right,
not
of
like,
course.
"Well, go do it," because
Yeah.
we're paying you, and
Right.
that's that's what you're going to do. It's like, okay, that's cool. Well, what else can you do?
Right.
And sometimes though they give us stories that we would never even think of asking.
That's great.
Last November we had a story, and it was it's called Night Watch, and it was basically all about these guys in a Sunni neighborhood, Adamia, and Assam basically went out and hung out with these guys one night, and they were basically patrolling the neighborhood.
Wow.
And according to U.S. forces, these guys are basically looked at as militia. But literally, you talk to these guys, they're just like, listen, our neighborhood gets all kinds of crazy people coming through. We're gonna patrol it, and
Yeah.
there's footage like live of these guys doing it, and it's just like he didn't tell us about it because he just thought it was too dangerous to bring up. And all of a sudden we look at the tapes and we're like, holy shit.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, this is like footage that no one else has.
Right.
So there's always stories like that pop up.
I think that's one of the biggest things about the show is that the perspective is so unique.
Yeah.
That you see CNN, you see all the news stories, and it's all fairly biased, or from a different perspective.
I mean, CNN. We're not trying to be CNN.
Right.
We can't compete with CNN. They're gonna give out the the press releases. They're gonna report on the figures faster than anyone because that's what they're the best at.
Right.
But as far as like grassroots reporting and like getting a grasp on like what people are actually saying like on the streets, CNN can't do that.
No.
And that's where like we're hopefully we're like saying, well, that's what we can do and that's what we can provide people.
That's the awesome thing about the web as well. It's a perfect platform for stories like yours. Absolutely.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, mate, it's good stuff. And, of course, aliveinbaghdad.org. Check them out. Go and see it.
Right.
Subscribe to their RSS feed.
Buy the DVD.
Yeah, you can buy a DVD. We're going to be putting out some new DVDs soon. The DVD is getting pretty old. I'm going to put together some new DVD collections for a bunch of the material from 2007. We're kind of collecting them in quarterlies because there's just so much material.
I'd imagine. It's got to be a buttload of work. I mean, just doing our show, for example, is a bit of a process. I mean, it's got to take you a long time.
It's a lot of work, and I mean, basically, it's my full-time job right now.
Right.
We're having a little financial problems.
Donations, please.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we have a couple different options if you do want to donate. You can simply donate via PayPal. You can also do a monthly subscription. And that basically would, you can either donate $5, $10, or $25, and it basically recurs every month for people. And we've actually gotten a decent amount of money. I think right now we have about somewhere between $150 and $200. It's recurring, which is pretty considerable when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
And we get some donations here and there and stuff like that. And it's helpful for a lot of the operational costs. Spend a lot of time on Skype and stuff like that.
Sure.
But
it's more of a labor of love, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's a labor of love, and right now we're paying all the guys who shoot, and they get paid pretty decent salaries.
Right.
And but we're trying to figure out we're hoping we're going to be able to keep paying them.
Yeah.
But the awesome thing about it is that they've all said that listen, even if you can't pay us, we're still going to send you footage, and it might not be as constant. Maybe they're only going to shoot one story a month or like 2 stories a month, but like even if we're still getting them in, I'm sure between we'll figure out a way to keep getting the translations done and stuff.
Oh, sure. I mean, they believe in the project, of course. I mean, we believe in the project. We support it wholeheartedly. I've got $5 right here in my back pocket for you.
Not that
absolutely.
That's like
now the
75
the
American
state
cents.
of the US dollar is so low that this is actually valuable, people.
Oh, it's not.
This is actually valuable. Look at that.
Look at that old man on there.
Yeah, look at that dude on
Who's that
the
old
money.
man?
That's the Queen, people.
Yeah.
That's the Queen.
I
Dude.
know Australia had a queen.
Yes, we do.
That guy is one ugly queen. What's his name?
I'm thinking about Alive in Australia is going to be the next big one.
Alive in
That would be
Australia
awesome.
is
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Really
Alive in the
awesome.
outback.
That's it, because like the Alive in Bel Air and that stuff is already done by MTV with Sweet 16 and things like that.
Compton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Alive in Oakland has been talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oakland's a really interesting area, especially just as like an American city.
I tell you, Philly's a little bit,
Philly,
dodgy. So
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Number one murder rate.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Count us in on that one for sure.
Yeah, we'll do some roving reporting for that. That'd be
yeah.
fun,
Awesome.
potentially. Thanks for joining us. You're going
Thanks for having
to
me.
hang around and make a few comments as we go along. Fabulous. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Schmidt's here.
Oh no.
And he's excited. It's not very difficult to get him excited.
Yeah, I know.
but-
You just gotta show him a picture of a boob.
Yeah, boobs.
One is all it takes.
Boobs will
Just
do
a
it.
boob, yeah.
Alcohol will do it as well.
Mhm.
But he's Schmidt-faced.
Schmidt face.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to fucking Schmidt Face. Got a little story for you about a ray of light called Madonna. She took a major dump this week, and that dump was the record industry. She said, fuck you guys, I'm going. Okay, no, she's not really going alone like ballsy bands like Nine Inch Nails and Jamiroquai and Radiohead and going and putting all her shit online for free and saying fuck the whole industry. But she is going with Live Nation for a $120 million deal. The next few albums are going to be released through them. Her tour's going through them and all this shit. And it's basically kind of pushing the rest of the world to say, hey, we don't need these fucking record industries. They fucking suck. They're douchebags. They're killing everybody. Literally. I saw a guy get shot. Biggie Smalls. Happened. Anyway, Madonna, she's looking like she's doing something good here, but she's still sticking with a fucking corporation, which is fucking ridiculous. Fucking let people download music. Let people do what the fuck they want. You guys make fucking billions of dollars. I'm sure if somebody stole a Madonna album, she wouldn't get hurt. You know, she can still go practice whatever in religion she's with this week. Anyway, that's your fucking Schmidt face for the week. Have a nice one.
Madonna.
Madonna?
Yeah.
I don't even know her.
Schmidt likes Madonna. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if Madonna likes Schmidt. Have to ask her, but we'll see. What?
I agree.
Yeah, the hell with Madonna.
What? Hey,
I don't care for Madonna.
fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Someone also with an opinion.
I don't know anybody that has an opinion.
Iggs. Never met one.
Oh, Iggs.
Here's the thing. You should know this shit. If you don't, Iggs will tell you.
Thank you guys. Hi, it's Iggs from RoadieShow.com. Here's some shit you should know. It's right about the 1-year anniversary of the Google's purchase of YouTube. You all know what YouTube is, don't you? You do, because 100 million of you go there every day. So 1 year ago this week, roughly, YouTube was purchased by Google for $1.65 billion. That's with a B. So happy anniversary, YouTube and Google, GooTube, as it were. I'm Iggs. This is some shit you should know. Back to you guys.
Oh, nice.
That was perfect.
Oh, all right, a nice little short. Take it out this week.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna take it out.
Tech it out, people! I love teching it out.
Why?
Just because it's fucking tech.
All right,
He loves
fair
everything.
enough.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about the Google phone,
Good phone?
G phone, right? Google phone, G phone, whatever. A lot of speculation that it's an actual phone, but people are kind of talking now that it's not actually a phone. It's more about an operating system.
Is this all still just rumors?
Pretty much, but people are a lot more solid about it now.
Okay. So they got halfies, like the, you know what I'm talking about?
Halfies?
They're like almost. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I'm Australian.
I noticed. So
Yeah, operating system, which is interesting in itself, in that someone like Nokia can just jump on and grab Google's new operating system free, right?
That sounds
open
cool.
source. You get your Mozilla with it. You get all sorts of free packages with it, and could really bring the costs down
Interesting.
of phones and the functionality up.
Right.
Right.
That sounds cool.
It does sound pretty cool. So we're keeping a geek eye on that. Geek Psychic, she knows a little too much
Yes, she does.
at times, but she's also keeping a geek eye on it as well, and more news to come for that.
I can't wait to find that out.
Really?
Really.
Really? That's fabulous. Really? So maybe not so much the iPhone killer that everyone was talking about, but pretty bloody close.
I think it'll probably be more innovative than the iPhone, actually.
Potentially, especially being open source. We
Might not
we
make
love
as big
open
of a
source.
splash, but I mean, it's more important to us.
Speaking of DRM free, Geek Chick is
Oh, yeah?
apparently DRM free.
New and
You'll be
improved?
pleased to know. Well, she's always been DRM free.
Oh, okay.
No copyrights on her. What's she got to say about shit?
Whoa!
Hey guys, Geek Chick Nick here. Now, if you think your test of popularity is through diamonds and large groups of friends and fancy clothes, then you are surely mistaken, because it's by the number of hits you get on Google. You want to show that off? You get this ring, you get the vanity ring. Basically, you plug it into your computer, you go into Google, and you type your name in, and it registers how many hits you get on Google. You can do it for your friends as well. So, you take it off, you wear it around, yeah. Prance it off a little, like a wedding ring, except for better, cooler, and more practical. And that's about it. You're like, I'm better than you are because I have 100,000 hits and you don't. So, that's been me. Stay cool, wear your ring. Bye.
Thank you, Geek Chick. Always some fabulous insights, from a female perspective.
Right.
I mean, I know you give some female perspective, which is good. Our viewers and listeners appreciate that. But, it's mostly testosterone
Yeah.
here.
It's definitely mostly
So-
testosterone.
That's good.
Right.
It wasn't until she came around I didn't even realize females had perspectives.
Finally, the Best Damn Tech Show period. Site of the week.
We call it the site of the week because it's a website and we look at it and it's once a week. We are the tech show. We need to profile websites. Therefore, once a week, we take a look at the site of the week.
I'll give you one guess who the site of the week is, Randy.
I think it's probably moanyourip.com again.
We've done that one. That was very exciting, by the way.
Okay.
Moanyourip.com.
Live in Baghdad.
LiveInBaghdad.org.
Right.
Can we get to a live in Mexico from there?
Yep.
Right.
Awesome.
Does it also have its own URL?
Yeah, it's alive in Mexico.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's almost like thought.
I can't believe that.
You actually put some thought behind it. That's
I wish I'd really start thinking about putting thought behind stuff.
Yeah.
No.
It's overrated.
I don't wanna
really,
think about it.
Personally. But, we
Check
do
it
encourage you to check it out. We do encourage you to donate.
Yes.
Do you get like a goodie bag or something like that if you donate some money?
If you donate, sadly, you don't get anything. You can buy a DVD though.
Buy a DVD. That's a
They're
good
$20.
swag.
You get like 20 episodes. They're pretty cool. It's also a lot of the stuff. Actually, has the episode I was talking about earlier, the Night Watch episode. It's pretty interesting stuff, and it's a lot of this. Also, some of the episodes that a lot of people say won us our vloggy last year.
You got a vloggy. Well done. Very exciting.
We got best vlog last year.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
We didn't even get noticed as being a vlog last year.
Sorry to hear that. We also won a $2,000 check for an Intel Core Duo.
Nice.
Yep, and we've been using that to edit the episode for the past year. So
It works well.
Thanks to Pal Talk.
Nice. That's
Pal
awesome.
Talks.
Pal Talk. Excuse me. Thanks to PodTech.
PodTech.
You're gonna have to edit that out.
No.
Too many sponsors going through my head.
Lots of sponsors. We encourage sponsors.
Yes.
Jump on the bandwagon. You're getting good traffic. Why the hell not sponsor the show? I see MoveOn.org jumping on.
Right.
Hey?
We see that's it. It's an interesting thing you brought that up.
Really?
The anti-war movement does not like our coverage because we do not take a particularly anti-war stance.
Doesn't the footage speak for itself, though?
The footage speaks for itself, but there's been clips in the episodes. Yeah, I mean, granted, there's clips of people screaming death to America, but there's also clips of there's a great interview with a taxi driver, and he talks. He's like, I wanted to thank Mr. Bush. He's a true gentleman, and the thing is that it's not a clear-cut thing. It's it's very nuanced, and it's not that simple. And I think that's why our material is so difficult for people to really get a grasp on.
Right.
Because it's not exactly you can look at it and be like, oh, this is why the war sucks. It's well, this is a very specific perspective that we're providing, and it's a lot of shades of gray as opposed
Yeah.
to black and white.
Wow, that's
Pretty
the,
awesome.
that's the beauty of it. T-shirts.
So you mean it's like a real documentary?
Yeah, we are working on.
Working on T-shirts.
I recommend Bags of Rubble
Bags
from
of
Baghdad.
That
Baghdad Bags of Rubble.
Can you DHL that?
That's how you brand it. Baghdad Bags, and then in parentheses of Rubble.
wow.
I'll order.
DHL shipment on that's going to be pretty expensive.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Guess how much 5 tapes cost to ship?
$45.
Keep going.
$105.
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
$75.
There you go. 75 bucks
wow.
to ship 5 tapes.
So Rubble may add to that a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, people can pay for it.
Exactly.
All right.
They're worth
And
it.
also, DHL, if you're out there watching,
Yeah.
we love your service. You're a true testament to your delivery service. It's exactly what we need, and it's perfect. We would love for you guys to sponsor the show.
Or alternatively, if someone can step up and say we're better,
Yeah.
we'll do it for free.
That's right.
Do it.
You know, UPS, you want to take the challenge.
Yeah, challenge is out there. We like challenges. We want to see that challenge met.
AliveInBaghdad.org, people.
Thanks to Steve for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Rand McNally, of course, for your fabulous insight. The very Reverend Duchess Adam Plant, Iggs, Schmidt, Drew,
Joy,
Nikki, Nick, Geek Chick Nick, all have participated in this fabulous episode of the Best Damn Tech Show.
Fantastic.
And of course to you, whose insight we also appreciate. Make your comments. Nimble too, I know you're chomping at the bit to add some comments. Do it. But until then, next time,
Have a
geek week, you bastards. Really, you're a bastard. It's true. I can't deny it.
You have to pee still?
I really have to be like a racehorse. Like a racehorse.
Make you jealous of horses.
Yeah, I know.